Hello, good evening, everyone. I welcome you back to Osun State Color Education Virtual Revision Class. I remain your humble tutor, Ali Monday, and this can be referred as the second or classified as the second phase of our revision. And under the first revision, and that is where I revised the word educational psychology within the word psychology itself, the branches of psychology, or the scope of psychology, and the relevance of education psychology to teachers in training. Well, this time around, I want to do some sudden revision briefly on human reproduction and development. Human reproduction, please listen, Human, human reproductions and development. And under this one, we are going to look at the meaning of human reproduction. Then, apart from that, we are going to talk about the ovulation. We are going to talk about the menstruation. We are going to talk about fertilization. We'll be talking about the sex of the child, the chromosomal abnormalities. Then, apart from that, we are going to look at stages or some certain factors that can affect prenatal stage of a child. That is some certain factor that can affect prenatal stage of a child. Then, briefly, if there is still time, we are going to look at maturation, growth, learning, and the cycles. And if you can remember, so far we talked about the human reproductions and development. If we are talking about the human production can be defined as a process by which children are conceived and born. I receive if you are to write briefly on the following: human reproduction, ovulation, menstruation, sex of the child. That means what I'm expecting to write under human reproduction is that human reproduction is a process by which child or children are conceived and born. In order for human production to occur, as we all know, like what I said the other time, that is, before the human reproduction can occur under normal circumstances, male and female must engage in sexual intercourse. Then, apart from that, exceptionally, reproduction may take place without intercourse, that is VIA, that is via procedures such as fertilization, that is what is not necessarily for a man and a woman to meet before they can be before a woman can be considered. It depends on the on the method, and depends on the earth and history, the health history of that woman, and likewise what a man. That's why I said, apart from that, that is, you can also pass through a process that refers what as fertilization. And apart from that, I said this is a situation that is, if they now ask, that is, what is phyto? Mind you, human reproduction is a process by which children are conceived and born. And I said, at times, if you don't want to make this thing to be through a woman and a man, that means what, you have other processes. And if you look at one of them is what is fertilization. And if you look at this VITRO properly, I say this is a situation where the male sperm is collected and merged with the female egg right there in the uterus. And if you look at it now, I said, apart from that, when does conception start? When those, if you can remember vividly, that is the last revision, and I did with the people. I said conception starts when the male sperms penetrate the wall of the ovum cell of a female adult to fertilize the ovum. Then apart from that, as from about 18 years, When the male reaches the stage of adolescence till the old age, he possesses millions of sperms in his scrotum. Each of these sperm has the ability of fertilization, that is, or it has power or ability of fertilizing the female head. And apart from that, if you can remember properly, I say the female too, from adolescent till menopause, possesses about 500,000 eggs in her ovaries. Each of these eggs is released every month. This is known as dash. It is known as ovulation. Ovulation. And mind you, if you can remember, excuse me, I said the released egg wait in the uterus for the male sperm to come and fertilize it. If it is not fertilized, it comes out in form of monthly blood flow, which is called menstruation. The apart I said, at the climax of sexual intercourse, the stopper mixing with other substances to form semen are ejaculated by millions, but it is only one sperm that will eventually fertilize the ripe egg released by the woman. And we can remember properly apart from that during our revision. I said when conception has taken place, the remaining sperm die because they can only last for between 25 to 36 hours, and the female eggs or ovum can last for about 12 hours. In essence, the ultimate act of intimacy serve to unite the male and female gametes. And if we look at it properly, apart from that, we'll also talk about sex of the child. Sex of the child, that is sex of the child. And there I say the cell nucleus of the egg and sperm contain chromosomes. Remember, I said a fertilized egg contains 23 pairs of chromosomes. I repeat, under sex of the child, the cell nucleus of the eggs and sperm contain chromosomes. A fertilized egg contains 23 pairs of chromosomes. In this chromosome, there are we have there are genes which are the basic unit of heredity. That is 22 out of the 23 pairs of chromosome do not differ from male to male, but the 23rd chromosomes is the sex determinant. And that's why I say in the 23rd pair of chromosome, the male has XY. I repeat, in 23rd pairs of chromosome, 2 and 3, 23rd pair of chromosome, the male has XY, while the female has XX. The female does not have any Y chromosome. She can only release an egg with S chromosome. So if the male sperm with a Y chromosome fertilize the ovum with an S chromosome, the result is XY. A male child, that is XY, a male child. On the other hand, if the sperm with an X chromosome fertilize the X, which means what? It will now be XX, which means a female child. So as seen in this illustration, that is what if a man releases X and a woman releases X also, it means XX, which means what? Female. But if the word the man releases what is Y, and also the woman remains X there, that means what now? If you are talking about XY, it means we are talking about a male child. And as I've seen, based on what we have seen, what on my on my previous word illustration, in the classroom, you can see I said it is only the man that can determine the sex of a child. He possesses the X, he possesses Y, that is what? X and Y chromosomes. So the woman possesses X and X. It depends on the one of the man release, either the X or the Y. This is what determine the sex of the child. Then remember, if they ask to write briefly on chromosome, chromosomes are thread like a structure. I repeat, chromosome, CHROSMOSOMES, that is chromosomes are thread like structures usually found in the cell nucleus of animals and plants. A normal human being cell contains 23, that is 23 pairs of chromosome. Each chromosome is composed of smaller units called genes. And apart from that, we also talk about the chromosome abnormalities. You can remember properly of it in my class. We talk about chromosome abnormalities that says some children are born with serious birth defects. And if you look at it now, this may be as a result of chromosomal abnormalities. Chromosomal abnormalities. And if you look at it properly, then I gave you different examples that we have Down syndromes. And it's normally the individual cell is made of 46 chromosomes. But when an individual possesses 47, that means what? Extra one instead of the normal 46. This may result into what is called Down syndrome. And the victim has reduced resistance to infection, thick tongues, short stubby hands, short neck, prominent and went under lip, extra eyelid fold, and considerable mental retardation. And we have the Clevetis syndrome. And we look at it, I say this is a result of abnormal sperm that contain both the X and Y at the same time. Instead of producing either the X or Y, it produces the two to fertilize the woman X. It then becomes XXY abnormality. That means the child that results from this abnormality is usually tall and thin with large breast. They may have criminal tendency and are also mentally retarded. Then the third one we have here is Turner syndromes. We have Turner syndromes. And if you look at what the Turner syndrome, sometimes the chromosome count is 45 instead of 46. That means you have the shortage of one, or the shortage of one, that is 45 instead of 46. And this situation often results from the absence of the X chromosome in the female egg. When the egg is eventually fertilized by the normal X male sperm, the offspring has an XO. X, you see small o, constituent instead of the normal XX. The child that results from this is usually short, sexually immature, and shown evidence of mental retardation also. And we have this last one, which is the fourth one. We have the sickle cell anemia. And look at this here. This genetic disorder is linked with hereditary, and is what someone inherited from the parents. And that's why I said the reason for this is that some of red blood cells are circular or crescent shaped instead of the normal coin shape. As a result of the blood cells are not capable of absorbing the required oxygen, and the child that results from this may have poor appetite, swollen stomach, yellowish eyes, and slim statues, and prone to sickness. And if you look at this one after the other, that is what we talk about also in our class. And lastly, before if there's the time, we have factors affecting prenatal development. That is, if you are talking about what prenatal, stay again. You can remember properly if you are talking about prenatal. I said prenatal development is divided into three periods. That is what we have the germinal, embryonic, and foetal. And we can remember under prenatal development of a child, three, we have the germinal period. And look at the germinal period. I said the germinal period is a period of prenatal development that takes place in the first 2 weeks after conception and include creation of the zygote, continuous cell divisions, and attachment of the zygote, the uterine wall rather. Then apart from that, we have the embryonic period. And if you can remember, I said embryonic period is a period of prenatal development that occur from 2 to 8 weeks after conception. Then, apart from that, if you look at it properly, there we have the next one that says the foetal period. That is, the foetal period is a period of development that begins from 2 months after conception and lasts for 7 months. And we look at it one after the others. Look at them one after that. But what concerns us most here also, that should be factors affecting prenatal development. That is, during that period, we have some certain factors that influence development of that of natal development. Then apart from that, this one can be referred as factors affecting prenatal development of the child. And you can remember the first one I said, maternal age. Maternal age, that is the age at which a woman gets pregnant, is important because of safety during delivery to avoid complication. Investigation has shown that child mortality rates are higher if the mothers are below 20 or above 35 years. Other things being equal, women between the age of 22 and 35 tend to produce normal, healthy babies than any other one. Then, apart from that, that's why I say here the age of that child, of that mother, it matters most. That's what will determine the health status of that child. Whether that child will also be able to survive or whether the mother will also be able to survive. That means so one of the problems we are experiencing or factors that affect all those unborn child, I mean, refer to what as maternal age. That means the age of the mother. And the next thing we also talk about that should be maternal usage of drug and chemicals. As I said, some pregnant women take drugs indiscriminately. They swallow any drugs that comes their way as light as egg. The first trimesters, the first 3 months of pregnancy could be tempting and dangerous because of the embryonic formation that are taking place during this period. Pregnant woman could be tired, dizzy, and feverish, and they score morning sickness. Some women quickly take any herbs, mixture, or drug to elevate this without consulting any obstetrician. They let you know that this one is very, very risky. That is, most of these women, most of these pregnant women, they make use of drugs, they make use of chemicals, they take different concussion or different mix up without consulting the doctors. That means this one can also influence, it can also affect development of that child at that particular moment. We have maternal nutrition, that is, developing fetus depends completely on its mother for nutrition. And more important factors are the total number of calories, an appropriate level of proteins, vitamins, and minerals. The mother nutrition even influences her ability to be able to produce in extreme malnutrition. Women stop menstruation thus proclaiming conception. Children born to malnourished mothers are more likely to be malformed since so more depends are made on the woman's system. There's need for her to be well nourished. That means what the woman is also taking in that period of time is also very important. And then we have the next one there, that is the maternal illness. During the first 16 weeks of pregnancy, serious illness of mother may also affect the child. It can also affect the fetus. We have the maternal emotional state. That is, there's no direct conception between maternal nervous system and that of fetus. However, the mother emotional state has a direct bearing on the reaction of development of the fetus. That means during that period of times, the issue of thinking or started thinking about unnecessary thing during that period can also affect the child. Then we have partner factors, that is, having discussed the various partner factors can cause structural defect or effect on the growth of fetus during the pregnancy. It is pertinent to know that partner factors can also affect development of fetus in the views of Tesla's and Gregson. Men's exposure to lead, radiation, certain pesticide, and petrochemical can cause abnormalities in sperm and can lead to miscarriage or also disease. Those are the things that we also talk about the other time. Then I want you to remember something. I talked about the word learning the other time. And remember, I said something concerning learning, that if you look at learning, we have what refers as learning occurrence paradigms. And that's why I said we have stages or processes of learning. That means before effective learning can take place, there are some things they're expecting us to know. And it's before effective learning can take place, the first thing that we are expecting what? I mean, that the where we are expecting learning to start from is from the learner. That's why if you look at my circle, the other time I said we have the learner. After the learner, we have the event that stimulate the sense of modalities. Then after the event, we now have input of learning or content by that teacher. Then after input of learning or content, we now have action that emanate from the input. And upon that, the other time I will talk about process or stages of learning. And I said, if you are talking about learning, we have three stages. That is acquisition, retention, and recall. Acquisition, retention, and recall. That means what learner should be able to acquire the information. That's why I said information is received by the learner as a stimulus. The learner's process of receiving information is called acquisition. Not only that, we have retention. That is what this information received by the learners may be stored in the memory. Mind you, we have different categories of memory. We have LTM, that is long-term memory. We have what refers as STM, that is short-term memory there. And the last one we have recall. That means what? Ability of learners to be able to record the information, to be able to retrieve the information for that learner to be able to make use of information, to be able to record the information that he has required, I mean obtained through the effective learning. And that's why if you look at it here, look at this formula. I want you to know that acquisition plus retention plus recall will be equal to learning. I repeat, acquisition plus retention plus recall equal to learn. And mind you, we have different kind of learning. We have signal learning, SR learning, chain learning, verbal associate learning. We have multiple discrimination learning. We have learning of concept. We have learning of principle. We have problem solving learning. But if we are doing our physical class, I don't want to waste much of the time. We are going to do some more revision on education psychology, and not only education psychology, Edu 111, which is also what the history of education. This is what we're going to call it today. I still remain your humble tutor, Hale Monday.